Now you may want to copy your network into another comp, which is no problem, but you do need to remember one thing. I'll select the points layer and this first lines layer and copy them, and I'll create a new composition and paste them in. So when you do that, you'll have to reset the target layer on your lines layers because that information doesn't copy over. So just go back to line origination and line destination and set it to the correct points layer to get it working properly. And I should note that this effect will work the same in any resolution. So if you want to make a 4K animation, for example, there are just two steps. First, change your comp to 4K in the composition settings. Second, change the dimensions of your solid layers. So any layer that has this black square, just select it and go to Layer and Solid Settings and click Make Comp Size. The last thing I want to show you is a trick for getting a more 3D look. This is actually a 2D effect. You can't spread the dots out in 3 dimensions. But there is a way to fake that look. I've got this comp I prepared with a few simple networks, each consisting of one point layer and one line layer. And what I want to do is rotate each network in 3 dimensions. First, I'll make all of these layers 3D by checking the 3D layer box on all of these. And then I'll add a camera layer. I'll go to Layer, New, and Camera. And to get some good depth of field, I'll lower the f-stop to something like 0.5. And if I'm in top view, I can see my camera in front of my scene. And I'll open up the camera options so that I can see the focus distance property. And you just want to be aware of where the camera is focused. I'll turn it down so that the focal point is at the middle of my scene. Now, to get a network that consists of multiple layers to move and rotate together, I want to parent the layers to something. So I'll parent each line layer to its point layer. And if you had multiple line layers in a network, just parent all of them to a single point layer. Let me go back to active camera view. And now when I rotate that point layer, you can see that the network is now rotating in 3 dimensions. I'll rotate each network a little differently. And maybe this last one I'll rotate a little and then move it up toward the camera a bit. And if you want to increase the blur in those close-up objects or the really far away objects, just double click the camera and adjust the blur level. So now I could animate this camera to track from left to right or dolly in right through the networks, and it'll do a decent job of faking that look of a 3D network. And that's pretty much it. You can pick apart any of the comps in here and see how I made the different networks in the demo animations. And let me share one final tip with you. You may want more control in positioning specific points, and the controls up here aren't giving you the precision you need, or maybe you just want to bypass the controls and make a specific point or line look different from the others. Just know that you can always turn off the expressions on any property on the points or lines, and then you'll be able to animate those properties manually without the customization controls affecting it. Alright, I hope you enjoy the effect and can make some really interesting and unique animations with it. If you haven't checked out the other stuff at creationeffects.com, there's really a lot of cool effects there, including a totally free lens flare tool for After Effects, and lots of other stuff like title effects, VHS effects, glitch effects, old film effects, custom 3D books, growing flourishes, fire effects, ink bleeds, and a ton of artifacts for transforming your footage into animated artwork.
它这样一来的话，我们的灯基本上这个灯会跟它长差不多位置，那我们再去抓那个位置啊，先把它找上去。好，先给它先把位置找出来。